Welcome back to the C Block today. Joining us, Sarah Baxter with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission and Jim Allen with Wild Birds Unlimited.
And it's time to reveal this week's winning picture that Sarah picked. And it's that one.
All right. That is a pretty picture.
It's the bluebird and the juniper during the recent snow and was submitted by Daniel Boyd from Fairfield Bay, Arkansas.
Sarah, tell us a little bit about bluebirds and their habits here in Arkansas.
Okay, so we have the eastern bluebird in Arkansas. There are three kinds of bluebirds: eastern, western, and mountain. We have eastern only. And they are very simply everyone's favorite bird. I mean, everybody loves the bluebird. They're really cool for a lot of reasons. They are here year-round, and they're actually a non-migratory species. So they don't migrate. They just hang out in one little area. They might do some short-distance migration, but not much. But as you can see, they've got that really nice iridescent blue back, wings, and tail. Yeah, and the nice chestnut brown chest and the white bellies.
And I think that's so funny that you say that, is that when people think of bluebird, that they often mistake it, I'm sure, for the blue jay, because it's all blue and this one's got that.
Yeah, and also the indigo bunting, which is a solid bluebird. So, but this is the actual bluebird.
You know, I could tell the difference between the bluebird and the blue jay, but that the indigo bunting, are they about the same size bird?
The indigo bunting is quite a bit smaller, actually.
Smaller, okay, so it's still a smaller bird.
Yeah, the bluebird is a good-sized bird. They're thrushes, so they're closely related to American robins.
Oh.
And they're great, and you can attract them to your yard fairly easily if you're in the right kind of area. Bluebirds like a pretty specific habitat type, mostly open areas. They won't find them like in the woods, you know.
And that kind of segues into what Jim has, a bluebird feeder here, right?
That's right, Stephanie. As Sarah said, everybody loves them, but not everyone has them. You have to be in the right area. And if they're in your neighborhood and you see them, you can attract them a couple of different ways. Always attracting with water. Water's a necessity year-round, but by having a good house for them and good food. They need those two things. Housing is particular. Now, this is one example of an American Bluebird Society approved house. The hole is 1.5 inches.
Gosh, it looks so small, but I guess everything fit in there.
This one has a predator guard on the front. You have an observation top. You have an opening on the side for cleaning out. But people, when they look for things, it needs to have ventilation. I don't know if they can see it here, but there's ventilation here, and then the bottom is recessed so that water to keep drippage from seeping back into the nest and everything.
And I guess that's definitely very, like you said, needed, the ventilation.
Well, bluebird boxes also are really important for bluebirds because they're secondary cavity nesters. So they have to have a cavity to have a successful nest, but they can't make their own cavity. And cavities are kind of hot commodities because of, people oftentimes will cut down dead trees or snags or things like that, things with natural cavities, so they need as many artificial cavities as we can put out. They'll readily inhabit a nest box.
Let me ask, when you put one of these out in your yard, should you face it a certain way? Does it need to be a certain feet up off the ground? Jim, Sarah?
Well, with regard to the bluebird, with most housing, you want to face it away from the prevailing winds so that the winds or rains are not blowing into the openings. With a bluebird, they like to be stationary. In other words, it's not hanging, it's placed on something, and the best way to do that is to put it on a pole or a post that's independent, about 5 feet high, so about face high, and then that way you can baffle the pole to keep any type of predators from climbing the pole, like a possum, raccoon, squirrel, snakes.
Right. Mighty saw some razor wire on the bottom.
And I was going to say, Daniel, the winner for this, or the selection this week, will get the, is it the bluebird feeder from your store?
We're going to give him some bluebird food, because if he has them in his neighborhood, one of the best things to do is to lure them by feeding them, and we'll give him some things to do that with.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay, and I believe we have run out of time for the C Block, and we'll just mention real quick geocaching. We're covering that as well.
As children, most of us love to explore the world around us and look for treasure.
Okay.
It's an outdoor scavenger hunt in which people try to find items in a geocache using a smartphone or GPS device.
We'll hear more on that tomorrow. We want to thank you for joining us. That's going to end it for us today.
You're very welcome.
Remember, the news is always on thv11. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.